Right.
We live. Welcome everybody to the Footy Express show. We are joined today by Yasin Solomons, Mr. Frank there in the back, and then three lovely young ladies that play for the team also, but we'll find out now if they've been loaned out to Sasol teams. Ladies, if you just want to introduce yourselves.
Jalan Kaiwas captain.
Okay.
I'm Keisha, player, Hotspurs player.
Okay.
I'm Jordan Lee.
Must speak up.
You can. And in the back we have Yasin and Frank. Do you guys want to say or introduce or just talk about?
Okay, so I'm Yasin Solomons. I'm the coach at Hotspurs Ladies, and then we have the chairman, Coach Frank Gabriels. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Frank Gabriels, chairman of Hotspurs Ladies.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. I love the energy, Yasin. Thank you so much for getting so many people in one room. It's awesome. So from speaking to you today, from hearing the story, and I think we'll maybe start with Mr. Frank Gabriels. Can you tell me how the club started? It's an interesting story.
Yeah, I think it's 2018, 2017. One day I was standing in the road and I saw my daughter play football. And me myself being a footballer, and my mind was more focused on my son, who at that time was my firstborn. And here I see my daughter, the lastborn, play football, and the way she played was like, wow, this is not what it's supposed to be. And then I asked her, do you really want to play football? She said yes. So I got her to a club and she played there. And my wife kept pestering me. Why are you playing? My daughter plays somewhere else when you can start your own team.
Yes.
And eventually I followed her advice. I started it. The club was
Okay.
it was started as a community project. And from there, it grew. We actually said, okay, let's get a couple of girls in the community and start playing football. And within 1 week, I've signed up 15 girls.
Sure.
And the first month when we started playing, and there was no resources, there was no open spaces to play. The only open space that there was used by the boys. And I went to Duncan Peters at DI Sports Arena. I asked him, listen, can I utilize your facility? And I told him, this is my circumstance, this is my conditions, and blah, blah, blah. And eventually he said yes. And within the first month of playing fives at the DI Sports Arena, we grew from 15 to 55 girls.
Sure.
So we were sitting with this exuberant amount of girls with no place to space to play, no place to play. And eventually we decided, okay, let's join the Mitchells Plain Elevate and form 11 aside. Listen, we had no idea what the 11 aside is about. We were only playing fives. And eventually, okay, we decided we could play 11 aside. And then I had to convince my own daughter to let go of the other team and come play for me. My own daughter to come play for me. And eventually, after a long fight, and she agreed. And I think that is where Hotspurs started. I think by the time when we started playing 11s, I had about 3 girls that's 9 years old, turning 10, playing in that team. Now, can you imagine taking a girl of 9 years old, turning 10, go play in a Coke Cup against a Sasol team like Heidelberg? And you won't believe what happened that day. Strange enough, Heidelberg could only score against us in the second half. And the youngest girl on the field, which is actually Jordan Lee, she was 9 years, 10 years at that time. the referee of the game had to tell her, please, I want to take a photo with you. Because I need to tell people what you as a 9-year-old did to these Sasoli girls.
Sure.
And she was amazing on the day. No fear. And I think that is where everything started, that no fearless, listen, you want to do good starts. And then eventually I had to look for somebody who can take this dream further. Listen, I'm the type of guy, when I get to a point where I say, listen, I can take you further, I have to look for somebody. And lucky for me, I identified Mr. Solomons that time. With a little bit tricky maneuvering from my side, I eventually got him. And that is where we are today.
And I mean, that is so brilliant. That is real leadership. If you come to a certain point to be able to let go and pass the reins on, it's such leadership. And I'm so glad that Yasin brought all of you on the show to honor you guys, because what we see, I mean, I look at these posts sometimes, or a lot of the times, you can feel the energy and the passion. So it was a brilliant decision to bring him on board, Yasin. Where did the passion, because everybody wants to be involved with men's football. Where did the passion come from to get involved with women's football?
Well, I didn't plan it, honestly. Like, I saw Coach Frank posting photos, and I saw them playing at the indoor arena. And then I was at the time I was at Beacon Spurs Football Club, but I had my wife and I had my wife's friend as the female coaches with me. And then I contacted Coach Frank and I said, listen here, I have 2 female coaches. You have a female club. Like, can't you bring the females on board? And then he was like, yeah, come, have a look. And then I told the female coaches, listen here, let's go check out the training. And then we were supposed just to go check out the training. And I think our first training, we actually got there and we took over the training. And then that was like, how can I say, like the rest is history. Like we just stayed on and yeah, that's how it is. We were supposed just to go observe and see if we liked it.
And then you took over.
And then we took over, yeah.
Girls, let me ask you, any of you can answer. Why football in a male-driven sport, which is so difficult for women to break through? And I mean, hearing that story of a 9-year-old playing in a Coke Cup, and you're going to tell me now against how old the opponents were, but why football, where everybody in society is saying, you just mustn't play, but you're so persevering and pushing through? Why?
Okay, I think I will speak first. Actually, I started playing football like basically when I started walking. I don't know, my dad always used to tell me, you look like someone that is going to play soccer. And actually at the age of 5, I joined the boys football. I played for Bale United. That was my first team. And after a while, like as I was playing, it became a passion. And once I reached the age of 13, and then the boys were like, they were my teammates, but they were actually trying to compete with me.
Wow.
So that's why I decided to join women's football.
Jalen?
Yes, Jalen, you can talk. Why football? Why persevere? Yes?
I first started playing netball. Then I was playing in the road with the boys, and then Uncle Frank asked me why didn't I play soccer. Then I said, no, it's not for me. And then after a while, I started like telling my netball coaches my tummy so and all of this. And then I left that to go train to soccer training, and then a year after that, I left netball and started playing soccer. Then I played in the Coke Cup, and then my daddy asked me, are you going to play on? And then I said yes. And then it just went from there.
Jonathan, She's actually one of the players that's currently training with the Rainbow team. So the Rainbow team is a squad from I don't know. Are you familiar with the Rainbow team?
Yeah, Camps Bay. I think they're based in Camps Bay.
Yes. So she's actually one of a few of our girls that is currently every Saturday training with them and playing with them. With the aim of going overseas to Sweden. So
Wow.
yeah.
So,
Captain?
Captain Koprat.
I started playing soccer in the road with my brothers and my friends, and my daddy just said, like, we went to the top one day, and then there was this coach Shabir was there, and so Shabir just said, I must come play with you. And we started playing football here. And all this, my daddy saw this one day, my daddy begged me to come play there for him. Because I used to score every time against his team, so. And then since I started hospice, and all my friends used to come in, Jordan and Keisha then came in, everyone came. And then we just grew as a team like that. And Coach Yasin then joined the team, and they took the team very far.
I posted something, Coach Yasin or the Gabriels, you can answer. I posted something today and I said that in women's football, there's obviously a scarcity of resources, but there's also a scarcity of dignity where the players in the game that feature in women's football, they're not given that respect. And it feels different with you guys. It feels different with Hotspurs. It feels like it's more dignified, that there's a different level of respect. Would you agree or?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I spoke to somebody in the week, and I told him, you know what, it's all a mindset thing. If you look at it from grassroots level, it's a fight to get women's football the same quality as it's been given to male football. I think if you look at primary schools, the teacher will go around and ask for boys, give me a name for soccer, but they will ask for girls for netball. Even though there's girls who's playing football, you can go to any school, you will find a girl that's playing football, but she's being forced to play netball because there's no football for female school. So it needs to change from grassroots level upwards. Even if you look at administrators, your administrators, basically those guys come from big teams, and those teams doesn't have female football. So for them to deal with a female on their mind, female football on their mind, that's very difficult. So basically, you need to get in place the proper people at the proper levels to guide this team. To change male dominance minds and says, listen, females can play football. And at Hotspurs, for us, it's so important that everyone gets a fair share. It doesn't matter how old you are being seen as a football player.
Quite.
You can go up against a 15-year-old and challenge her for a position. That is what we at Hotspurs, or I would say at Hotspurs, and what Coach Yasin is trying to maintain at Hotspurs. That he makes it dignified that everybody can get a fair chance to challenge for a position. I mean, Zoran was 11, 12 years old, and she was playing in the RWL team. Not because we were favoring her, but because she was given the fair opportunity to challenge for that position.
Yeah. Agreed, Yasin.
I believe if a player is good enough, they're old enough. That's like what they always used to say in football. So I maintain that mindset. If the player is good enough to compete in the league or in the team, she should play. But obviously, it's very difficult with them, especially in our squad. We have 2 or 3 13-year-olds. We have 4 under 14s. We have a lot of under 15 players. So sometimes I need to assess the games and see, listen here, the opponent is a bit aggressive. So then I need to pull them out and maybe bring in a older, stronger player. So it's it's like the coaching comes in there as well, because we need to protect them, because I know they are young, but I want them to play, and I want them to learn the game. And like, you know how they say, it's like throwing them in at the deep end, and
Yeah.
that's basically what we did with them. Remember, it was our first year competing in the SAFA regional women's regional league. We won us. Like I said, we lost out against Hard Bay. They got the Cecil promotion spot. So we got far in our first year. I mean, so then what we basically did now is after our league ended, basically the second round of the Cecil League was ongoing.
Yeah.
Then we had like 12 of our girls playing in the Cecil League at 3 different teams. We had, I think, 6 at Virgo Ladies. That's a Cecil team that's based in Mitchells Plain. Then we had about 5 players that's playing at Milano Ladies. That's based in Grassy Park. And then we had 2 players at the Canva. Where are they based? Google. So the thing is so we're trying to give the girls the platform where they don't just play by us, they get the experience in a higher league as well. So yeah, what we always try to say is the holistic development, like that's the new word on in the football circle. So that's what we kind of try to do at Hotspurs at the moment.
And I mean, what I will take away from this conversation, sometimes when you're talking about gender and gender roles and certain gender needs to do this, a male needs to do this, so he's only restricted to a certain thing. What I take away from this conversation is you're not looking at even at the gender, you're just looking at the footballer and how to create an opportunity for that footballer. We've made it so complicated, but that's all it comes down to. This is a footballer. We can't decide what these young girls want to do with their life. They decide what is their interest, and we have to come behind them and support them. So just looking at them as, okay, you're a footballer. How am I going to create the opportunity? Girls, maybe from you, what do you want to say to specifically, maybe not men, but the footballing world? What do you want to say to them to maybe change their mindsets, or something that bothers you about this male-driven or just the world of football? What do you want to say?
They mustn't underestimate us. We
Brilliant.
can't play with it.
Exactly. Anyone else?
We are actually better than some of the boys, if I have to put it like that myself.
Definitely.
I believe you. I need to come watch. I need to come see this.
They actually playing a curtain raiser at the Stanton Senior tournament this weekend on Sunday. So they're playing the curtain raiser for the final of the tournament. So in Rocklands in Mitchells Plain.
Okay.
So
I don't know if you just want to give the details so that whoever's listening, maybe they want to come watch also. So we're in Rockland.
At the Rockland Sports Field.
Okay.
The match is at 2:30. At 2:30.
Okay, so the Rockland Sports Field at 2:30.
Jonathan, it's actually going to be a Mitchells Plain derby.
It's
I think, we're playing Tafel Zoeg. Last year, we didn't have the opportunity to play them, or this year, because they were in a different stream. And up until, I think, the second last game of the season, it was still undecided who we're going to play in that final. And once it looks like it's going to be Tafel Zoeg, and everybody was very excited because clearly if Tafel Zoeg won this stream, there would have been a Mitchells Plain team promoted to Cecil. Things didn't work out the way we planned it, and unfortunately, but it's going to be a very exciting game because it's clearly going to be a Mitchells Plain derby. Because we want to play Tafel Zoeg, and I think they want to play us.
and Jordan is not 10 anymore, so they must watch out. Listen, what needs to change? I think, and I hate having to say this because I think what you guys do and how you invest, it's like you take nothing and then you create. For me, I respect coaches and administrators more. I have a high respect for them because you're literally going and there's nothing that you have there, but you're creating something beautiful. So, I mean, that is great. But so why I say I don't like saying this because it almost the responsibility almost rests on your shoulders all the time, and it's difficult because you have to again this year you must push, and it's not easy having the passion. It's not easy staying motivated. It's not easy taking resources out of your own pocket. So I don't believe it should be like that. But what needs to change in structures for women's football to grow? Because I think in anything, if you plow enough resources into it, it's going to grow. But what needs to change?
Actually, Coach Frank can answer that because he was like recently this week, a few nights ago, he was meeting and actually discussing this on our LFA level, where they need to actually like look into investing and into the female football on our specific LFA because I
Yes.
think he was feeling not enough was getting done from our local LFA level. And then he was meeting with the top guys to discuss and give his input to them. So maybe Coach Frank?
Yeah, yes, something you need. I think each LFA has their own challenges, or each club has their own challenges. Specifically, if you look at it, I think when I started the club, that time there was no resources. Even now, there's no resources. There's no resources.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing being made available for specifically for female football. You know, you're competing in a male dominant sports against big name players, big names, what we call big names, the big guns.
Big guns.
And here you come with this. Here you come with 15 females, and you're trying to achieve something. So you have to change. Now you have to talk to that administrator and change his mind and says, "Listen, look at me the same way you look at a guy who's playing at, for argument's sake, say at Premier United or Denver Park, the big clubs. Look at me the same way. Try and treat me the same way. Give me the same chances you're given that specific club. Give it to me as well. Because clearly you need to get, and that is my aim this year, is we need to get the proper or the right people in place who will have the same passion that you as a club chairman, as a coach is, to drive the women's side of football.
Yes.
So we were clearly sitting down and saying to them, we need the strongest available people in the women's department to try and push this thing through so that we can have a fair chance. And clearly that is what they were bringing across to us this time. They were looking at promoting female football to a level where it can be dignified, where you say, okay, now we've achieved equality.
Brilliant.
Not just looking at your male side, but also the female side.
Brilliant. Do you think, I just realized something, do you think, and sometimes we look at, and Coach Frank, you said we look at the big guns, and if you come down to football and footballers, at the end of the day, how you measure a footballer is how much they grow and how much they improve. And I mean, I've coached girls a few times and I'm teaching right now, and it's so frustrating working with boys. I'm almost like, can we put the spirit of a girl into a boy? Because I know he'll grow faster. Have you seen their growth? Do they grow at a faster rate just because they're able to take in more, they're more gentle, they're more receptive to change, or than the males?
Well,
Nice for you.
to me, are they not so gentle?
You what?
Listen, if I tell them, guys, give me 2 laps, 65 pace, 75 pace, then I hear them mumbling there, coach, you run the laps.
So material is wrong.
So listen to me, no? Like I treat them like I would treat the boys, and to me, like you mentioned now, to me, they actually more. You know what it is? It's the willingness to learn. That is why I'm still there. Like like
Mm,
like if I tell them something that they don't know,
mm,
I will sit there and listen to what I'm saying.
sure.
And then afterwards, they will ask me as well, Coach, I maybe didn't understand. Can you just repeat?
Yeah.
And then I'll explain it to them again because they
Mm,
actually want to know and understand why are we doing something a particular way. So
mm,
they actually asking why so and why not like that. So it's like so when they engaging me, it's actually for a coach. I enjoy that as well because now I'm answering them and I'm also thinking about like why are we
right.
actually doing it? Because
What?
you know what happens as a coach, you get into a almost like a routine.
Mm,
Here's the ball, go and play.
mm,
But
mm,
now all of a sudden you tell them to play and you tell them to play a particular way and they want to know, but why like this, coach? And then you
mm,
know what is even more, what I enjoy even more, like if we work on something on the training ground and we implement it in a match and we're actually getting the results from whatever we
sure.
worked on, yeah, then some of especially the captain, she will tell me, coach, you know what? That worked.
Mm.
So yeah, so that is the joys of it, no?
Yeah, it is the joys. Before we end off, girls, do you want to say something? You don't want to give a shout out, it's fine. But do you want to maybe
A
end
shout
off
out
for us and before Coach Frank? Just speak up.
Speak up.
I said, shout out to the horses ladies that's watching.
It's
Don't you want to shout
You wanna
out
say
to your
anything?
mommy?
My mommy.
I want to shout out to my mommy and a mommy. To all the Hotspurs ladies watching, to Coach Faisal, to Coach Nasty in the background. We know you're watching us. Ratatata.
and Coach Yasin, before we go over to Coach Frank, do you wanna end off
Um,
and
No, I just think things are changing for the female football. I think good things are coming for them because you will see more and more coaches from the boys men's side switching over to female football. Like for example, I will take Mitchell's playing the LFA for example. I know for a fact like this year there was about 3 teams in the RWL. Next year there's talks of 4 or 5 teams coming from Mitchell's play. So clubs are really looking into this, having the female football as part of the
mm,
club structure.
Coach Frank?
Oh yeah. Now I just want to end off by saying, you know what? I spoke to somebody that said to him, you know what? Parents also needs to start changing their minds when it comes to female football.
Mm,
You get parents who's willing to go sit at the boys' team for 3 to 4 hours,
mm,
but in the same afternoon, the daughter are playing, and they rather do something else.
mm,
You need to start from out of the house, and you need to start supporting them.
mm,
So the outside world that I can support my daughter as well. Even though
mm,
it's not only the sport, I can support my daughter as well.
mm,
And clearly, if the daughter sees that, more and more girls will come on board. I think this year we were looking at we were registering about 85 girls
sure.
at Hotspurs, and now we currently looking. And I think over the past few weeks it has increased already. We currently stand at 105.
Sure.
105 girls. Now you tell me 105 girls without resources.
Sure.
Coach Yasin, he had hair on his head. He was had black and now he's bald and gray. And I mean, it's I don't even want to take my cap off.
That's his yeah.
But yeah, but I can say it that there's a wave of change coming in female football. I think more and more girls are interested, and more and more girls want to play. Now we depending on the administrators, the LFAs, SAFA, to make the resources available and to put a platform there and say to the girls, listen, we are willing to support you from here onwards. I mean, we can. Where's the next Desiree Ellis going to come from? Why do my girls have to? I think my daughter's wall is full of Alex Morgan. I mean, we need to look locally. I need girls to start supporting. I mean, we got brilliant youngsters in Mitchells Plain. You look at your Messiah Minis, you look at your Akila Alfreds, your Petula Peterson. I mean, they're currently playing in the Vasco team. Those are girls that came out of Mitchells Plain. They should be the role models of Mitchells Plain. Our girls should be looking at them and says, I want to be the next Akila. I want to be the next Messiah Minis. So those kind of girls need to be promoted so that our girls can see and identify them. So I mean, those girls were struggling for opportunities. Now they got it. Now it's become a little bit easier for our girls. But also at the same time, we should be promoting those girls and says, listen, here.
And I mean, don't underestimate what you guys are doing. I think a lot of people are looking up to you guys without knowing. I think there's a lot. You guys are pioneers in this industry. And when you are a pioneer, it's very, very hard. But I think there's a lot of people that are looking to you for direction. And even girls just in the front, a lot of people are looking to you guys for what is next. How do we do this? So don't underestimate what you're doing. And I think to maybe just add what Coach Yasin said, that sometimes, and what you said, Coach Frank, it's sometimes we don't think about why we do things or why we don't do things. We don't think about why aren't we promoting women's football. We don't take the time to dissect those things, and then people suffer, or the game suffers, or there's a lack of resources. But yeah, I think I just want to tell you guys that you're doing an amazing job. You are really, truly pioneers. You are pioneers in this industry, and continue just to share the passion. And I believe, once I was talking to somebody today, and they're saying if you're doing something faithfully, which I believe you guys are doing, the opportunities will come. And that's my prayer. That's my prayer for you guys, that the opportunities will come, because we need opportunities, especially in education, and through sport it can happen. So thank you very, very much for joining me. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you,
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan.